Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I just want to do a shout out to my Facebook group, Mosaic Resilient Step Parents. I want to do a shout out to my Instagram followers and also to my YouTubers on my YouTube page. So I'm just so happy to be here and thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who don't know me, or maybe you're a recent follower, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lois Godot, and I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor, and I'm also a transformation coach. I've been in the blended family for, wow, it's 27 years now. I just had an anniversary. And based on my experience in the blended family and also me working with couples in blended family relationship, I've created a coaching program. And my coaching program is called Mosaic Transformation Academy. And within the academy, I help step parents who are 1 to 5 years in the process of combining their two families not feel like a fifth wheel, not feel like they're an outsider, not feeling isolated, and not feeling resentful in their relationship. I help them to connect with their partner so they can create a solid foundation in their blended family relationship. So that's a little bit about me. So the title of this live is Successfully Co-Parenting in the Summer. And at this time, so many kids are out of school, they're getting out of school, or they're already out of school, and they are hyped up and they're excited about the summer. But when you're in a blended family, it can be a little bit more challenging looking forward to the summer. So I thought I'd just stop and kind of talk a little bit about that. As I was getting my information together and I was looking at it, I said, I might have to have a two-part with this. I might have to have part one, which is today. I'm looking at the how to be successful co-parents in the summer for the blended family. And then I might have to have a second part looking at the challenges that kids face in a blended family so they can be successful. So I might have to have a part one and a part two. So look for that in the near future. But again, I just wanted to just talk a little bit about it, and I wanted to give you some tips on how to be successful as a co-parent, and specifically 5 tips I want to give you. And one of the first things I want to just look at, and some of the stuff I'm going to talk about may not be something that you've heard about before, because you might be looking for me to give you some information that's going to just help you to have fun in the summer. But I kind of want to start back a little bit further than that. One of the issues for myself and probably other parents was that when you got into this blended family relationship, there was already a custody agreement, there was already a divorce decree or a parenting plan in place when you got here. You weren't even a part of that particular agreement. But now that you're in this blended family relationship, now some things are starting to feel uncomfortable. So the first thing I would suggest is for you to actually understand and know what's in that custody agreement, divorce decree, or the parenting plan. Because it has been my experience with my clients is one of the reasons that they're upset is I didn't know we'd have them for so many days in the summer. I didn't know that this is what was going to happen. And so they're all upset because they're not comfortable with the custody agreement when it comes to the summer. Because in this custody agreement, it tells you about the schedule, it tells you who's going to pick up. It also tells you about the vacation plans and how long and who's going to pay for what. It has that in that plan. And if you're not aware of that or familiar with that, it can look like it's overwhelming when all of a sudden, if you're just keeping the kids every other weekend or they're coming over once in the week, and now in the summer, it's like 3 weeks at a time or a whole month at a time. And that can seem like, oh my God, that's a lot. But remember, the parenting plan, custody agreement, divorce decree, it was created with the children in mind. You weren't there. It wasn't created with the step parent in mind. It was created with the children in mind. And so that's something that you have to understand, that this is not about you. And I understand that when you got into the family, there have to be some adjustments made. But when it comes to what's in the custody agreement, it was made with the children in mind so they can stay connected to their bio parent. And so a lot of times when you don't know, you just walk in there and then all of a sudden you're bombarded with that. That gives you anxiety. That gives you stress because you don't know what you're walking into. And that's why I say, make sure you know what's in there so you can Make sure if this is something that you can handle. If you know you don't want to have a whole month with the kids, then maybe that may be something that you need to think about before you get into this relationship. But to make sure that you're looking at the custody agreement. And the next thing, and like I said, some of this is something that people don't talk about a lot, because one of the reasons why you're maybe have a little anxiety or stress in the summer is because you don't like what the custody agreement said. But the reasoning you need to know what it says is so you can be aware, not so you can change it, because remember, it's about the kids. And it was developed with the kids in mind. You weren't there at the in court or when they were with the mediator. You weren't there. And so no, you didn't, your input wasn't given, but it's always about the kid. And let's keep that first and foremost, that this is about the kids. Now, tip number 2 is maybe that custody agreement needs to be revisited, because when it was developed, maybe the kids were 5 years old, 3 and 5, and now they're 10 years old. And what worked when they were 3, it's not going to work at 10, because now they may be in sports. They may be in a summer program. They may be in summer camp. And so you need to look at it and see, hey, do we need to revise this custody agreement? Do we need to revise this parenting plan? Not revise it for you, but you're revising it for the kids. Because let's just say if your job changed since the last time you created that, well, now you can't pick them up at a certain time. Again, it's about the kids. It's not about you. So the next thing is to look at and see, does this custody agreement, these arrangements, do we need to revise them or revisit them? Just by doing those 2 things, it can alleviate a lot of stress and it can alleviate a lot of anxiety. Tip number 3, and this is what I call the secret to having a successful summer, and that's communicating and planning with your ex-partner. That is so vital. And when I say communicate, I mean communicate everything. Communicate the schedules. Communicate who's going to pick who up, who's going to drop who off. And you might want to get a calendar to put all that in. And I have a kind of funny, it's not funny now. I mean, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. I remember my husband and I, when we got my bonus kids, we were planning on getting them for a short period of time. And it ended up being a longer period of time because of communication. There were things verbally said, but they weren't written down. And because they weren't written down, it got miscommunicated. And so we ended up keeping the kids a much longer period of time. And we had to buy clothes because we didn't have enough clothes for them. The kids were anxious because they didn't know what was going on. We were anxious because we didn't know what was going on. And it was all because of the communication. And I'm not saying it wasn't communicated effectively, but sometimes people forget. And so when I say communicate, I'm talking about writing it down, emailing it, however you need to get it. So it's written down so you can always go back to it and say, you know what, we agreed to do X, Y, Z. And putting it on the calendar. Okay, so today we're going to go to the summer camp. And then when we leave the summer camp, there's going to be a bonfire or whatever, but communicate everything and write them down in detail. And the next thing with the communicating, make sure that you send the appropriate clothes or you ask for the appropriate clothes. If you're going to be going swimming, you might need a swimsuit. Yeah, the kids can wear shorts, but it's not as comfortable as the swimsuit. Maybe you're going to go horseback riding. Maybe you're going to go to the amusement park. And so you need to make sure that you communicate the clothing that's going to be needed while the kids are in your care. Hello, thank you for joining. And so the communicating and the planning, that is what's going to help you have a successful summer. Make sure you communicate. Tip number 4, successful co-parenting involves mutual respect. Remember, your ex-partner is just that, your ex-partner, but it's your child's parent. And the way you communicate and behave about that parent is how it's going to affect your relationship with that child. Your actions are going to directly impact your relationship with your child. So make sure that you're respectful and not saying things in front of them. And to think about whatever that other parent does, Have an unconditional belief that they're doing the best that they can with what they have. Maybe they can't have a summer like you're having. Maybe they can't take them on vacation. Maybe they can't do all the wonderful things that you're doing. So don't put them down. Don't belittle them. Have the mutual respect for that child's parent, because that is their parent. And that's something that they will always remember, because kids, they feel. And you may say, well, I didn't say anything, but the way your behavior was, your actions, and they can pick up on that. So have the mutual respect for their parent. And then number 5, remember, summer is short. Summer is short, and before you know it, we'll be back in fall. We'll be back with the school schedules and the pickups and the after school and all the things that come with the fall when it comes to the kids being in school. So enjoy your summer. Remember, 2 years ago, we couldn't even get out for a summer, and you were able to be flexible and to change things. So for number 5, it's be flexible. Maybe it didn't work out. Maybe you had scheduled that you guys were going to go to the show and the kids were so slow and you missed the show and you can't go. Be flexible. Have a bonfire. Do something else, but don't let it get you down. Live in the moment. Be intentional about the things that you do. Because again, summer is so short. And if you didn't get to do those things this summer, plan for next summer. Plan for next summer and look at all the things that cause the problems and the issues and make sure you hammer those out. So just to recap, being a successful co-parent in the summer, there are 5 tips I want to remind you of. The first tip is read the parenting plan. Go over the parenting plan, the divorce decree, the custody agreement, and understand that the way things are is because it's in the custody agreement for the benefit of the child and not the step parent. Number 2, look and see if that agreement needs to be revised. The kids are older now. Do we still need to have the same things in place, or do we need to change them? And again, it's for the benefit of the child. Number 3, communicate successfully and plan a schedule with that bio parent. Make sure you get things written down. Don't just assume, hey, I said something as they were running out the door. Hopefully they caught what I said. Write it down. Get a calendar. Make sure you're on the same page so there will be no anxiety and stress. And number 4, respect the other parent. They may not have the means that you have to do the things that you're able to do. Don't make the child feel that their parent is less than because they can't provide those things for you. And number 5, be flexible. This is the summer. This is a time for you to just enjoy and make wonderful memories with your family. Again, 2 years ago, we couldn't do this. So if things don't go exactly how you planned them, think of something else. Just make fun and wonderful memories with your child. And so again, I have a coaching program. If you need help with any of this, if you need help with revising your parenting plan, if you need help with maybe being able to talk to the other co-parent, things that you need to say, anything that you need help with, just send me a DM and we can have a chat about it. And we can see what I can do to help you on this co-parenting journey. So that's all I have for today. And I'll talk to you later, and go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.